I'll just give everybody a minute. We got a long way to go. I don't know if this is going to be a marathon. The one a couple weeks ago took a while. We did it in an hour. We'll see if we can do this one because we're going to go about 3.5 kilometers. So just going to give everybody one more minute and then we're going to get going. I'm here at the Pont des Arts to start. I moved down here because there's a guy singing. And once this gets up on YouTube, they sometimes take things down if they hear music that's not, that's copyrighted, they'll take it down. It looks like somebody was able to get all the way down underneath there to put some locks on. There's another guy singing just a little bit further down. So when this guy stops, you could hear the other guy competing troubadours. All right. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And so other people could jump in when they get here. But since we have a lot of ground to cover, hopefully we can do it because the sun's going to set in about 40 minutes, less than 40 minutes. Because we changed our clocks last night. So we changed our clocks back. And in North America, I think it's next weekend. So just make sure you guys are muted. So we're starting here at the Pont des Arts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here. We're gonna head all the way down towards the Eiffel Tower so we can see the sunset and hopefully we get a good one. There is some partial blue sky, but it looks pretty dark over there, but kind of lighter. So hopefully we get some. But I'm gonna give you some fun stuff about the bridges because of course I'm obsessed with the bridges. And this is the Pont des Arts, my favorite bridge. And it was built first under Napoleon. So he had it started to be built in 1802. It took 2 years to finish. Originally, it was 9 arches. Because it was 9 arches, that means that the piers were closer together. And over time, it was in so many accidents. It was got some bombs on it in World War I and II. And so it basically started to fall apart. A boat ran into one of the piers and actually just took the whole thing out. There are a few pieces that you can still see of the original, but it was rebuilt in 1981. But when it was first created, it was the intention was to have it look like a floating garden. So all the way across it, there was planter boxes and trees and benches, and it cost 1 sou to go across it. Now it's falling apart, and they're doing a little test over here to see if some replacement boards, how those are going to hold up. But it is falling apart. It's pretty dangerous when you walk across it. Just make sure you look down because some of the boards do stick up. Some of them stick up an inch or so. So you just always want to make sure you're looking down when you go. This down here, the Caliph, this boat actually does dinners and lunches. It's really great. I recently took a group of ladies on the Ducasse sur Seine boat, which is about 250 to 300 euros per person. And this one over here is about 90, and this one's much better. I thought the Caliph, even though the food's by Alain Ducasse, who's an amazing chef, I just didn't think, it was just kind of cold, and I thought it was just kind of cold and not very, it just, nobody really was even looking out the window. So what's the point of putting down the river if nobody's gonna look out the window? And it was a really beautiful night. So it's still warm today. It's gonna be starting to get cooler this week. It's still in the mid 60s here. But it is warm, which is just so strange. And I rarely see this guy open. Oh, it's got a nice little, so that maybe she's a new one. They have about 15 or so new bouquinistes now, which it used to be something that there was a waiting list that lasted years, but with COVID, a lot of them actually kind of dropped out of it. They pay something like, it's like 100 euros for a year, and they have to sell a certain percentage, like 75% books. But as you can see, I don't think they monitor that very much, because there's quite a few that sell knickknacks. Oh, somebody's getting in trouble. I think those people that drive those are very close to the same people, the same group that walk around Paris with the faux clipboards out of cardboard. Because I see them all kind of hanging out sometimes. But just beware. This might take us a while as there's a lot of people walking. It is a lovely night. Now we're gonna zigzag over the bridges. So I'll take you over each one. So we're gonna go over the Pont du Carousel in a moment. Should have worn my other Louis Vuitton sneakers in case we need to pick up into a run here. Today, this week, or since last week, last Sunday, hasn't been the greatest, but I had some wonderful tours with some wonderful people. It was very nice and very fun. And tomorrow's a new week. So I almost barely even made it today to even get here. So I went to get my hair done. But normally it takes 90 minutes. It took 5.5. Not because of my hair. So I'm almost to the point that I'm just gonna learn how to do it myself. Because this is ridiculous here in Paris. So here we have, these are the areas you want to be careful of in the morning, especially. There's a lovely aroma in these corners, we'll call it. And we could hope it's dogs, but probably not. So now we're going over the Pont du Carousel. It was built in 1831. In 1999, they actually had to lift it up and make it higher because it was too low for a lot of the boats that needed to come under the Seine, or on the Seine, I should say, under the bridge. Look at that cute little gal. You go. Basically how I look right now. But on here, I went right past them. You've got 4 different statues. Look at that one. I think there's a seagull sitting on top. And on this one, that side, that is the Seine. And this one is the city of Paris. And then over here, when we get close to it, this side was another seagull. Hi, Pops. Oh, is there another one on that side? All right, I get it, Pop. It's always my little message from my grandpa. So up here, this one's industry, and the other side is abundance. You can see the Pontes again. And of course, like I need to tell you what this is. The Musée du Louvre. This is where the Grand Gallery is, and it was under Napoleon III that they actually took this whole thing down, lifted it up. So it was too low, and they wanted cars to be able to pass through it. So they actually took it apart and lifted it up. So it is higher. And originally, Napoleon III wanted to have another grand access. The grand access, it starts at the pyramid, it goes all the way to La Défense. He wanted one to go from this side, actually all the way to Boulevard Saint-Germain. We go all the way through here to the Opera. But the Opera sits up there more west, so it would not have been a straight line. There you go up there. That's abundance. Because see, she's holding a little treasure chest there of jewels. So she's holding jewels. That's definitely my grandma up there in that one. That's my grandma, the seagull. She's always going to be sitting near the jewelry. And the Grand Gallery, from what we could see, goes to right about this next door, which is the Côte de Lion, which used to be an entrance that you could use. But even before COVID, they were only letting groups in there, but I rarely ever saw them even allowing that. But with the new director, Laurence Descartes, she wants to add a whole bunch more entrances. So another one, more eastern side of the Seine, so closer to the Pont des Arts. She wants to add some on the back side, like the Saint-Germain-l'Auxerrois. So I'm really excited about that. And I will at some point get away with, I'm sure they'll keep the time tickets, but they're going to do it so that you can still come in and buy them, because not a lot of the French people come in to the Louvre. So they want them to be able to, and they want to have a couple, 2 to 3 nights a week that it's open later, so they can't come in after work. Because now, they sweep the rooms and basically close at 5:45. And most French people work till at least 7. And then this side, we have the Pavillon de Flore. And if you've been in the Orsay, kind of at the bottom end, you see there's all the sketches done by Carpeau, and he has the one plaster design of Flore. And it's the one that's up here on the building itself. Look at the sun. We're already getting some good. Maybe we'll stay. Maybe we won't cross across this, because I don't want us to miss any of the beautiful light. So go straight on this one and then we'll cross over. So this is the Pont Royal. It's the 3rd oldest bridge in Paris. The current date of this one was 1685. The first one was around 1550. And it leads from the Tuileries to the back. And what used to be here was a ferry. And the word "pont" means ferry. So that's the ferry street. Because could you imagine a ferry going to get across the river back in the 1550s? So, and it's gone back and forth quite a few times, different names, because of course, when it was the Pont Royal during the Revolution, they definitely did not like that name much. Okay, we'll keep you with the pretty sunset. And of course, the Orsay. It was kind of nice that the sun was coming up at 7:30 this morning, but my body clock, it's so unfortunately structured, and I wake up around 5:30 no matter what time I go to bed. I now woke up at 4 because to my body it's still, so now, well, I'd say now I woke up and it was 4. My body thought it was still 5, and the clock actually said 4. So you have a Orsay there. Look at how those colors. It's like a watercolor right now. I hope you guys are all having a good Sunday, and you West Coasters, you got to maybe sleep in a tiny bit longer. The next one we're coming up to is another footbridge. So it's the a passerelle, which is technically what the Pont des Arts is. I don't know why it's not called the Passerelle des Arts, but it is a Pont des Arts. But this one coming up is the Passerelle Leopold Sédar Senghor. It's a pretty new bridge. It's 1997. It was renamed in 2006 on the 100th birthday, what would have been the 100th birthday of the Senegal president, Senghor. He was also a huge Francophile. He spent his last years here in Paris, where he died. So they named the bridge for him. The peaky sky. Maybe I should just stay this. We'll walk up to the middle of the bridge and then stay on this side. Because I don't want you guys to miss I don't want to be on the other side. You know how the light changes so fast on the sunset? I don't want to be on the other side and have us miss some beautiful pinkish color. Yesterday I did get up to get out and see the sunrise because it was rising at 8:30, which is a little easier to get out to than, even though I'm awake at 5, it's a little easier to get out to than getting up to see the sunrise at 7:30. So I went out yesterday, but there wasn't much of one. There was a tiny bit. I posted a picture. Oh, but today, when I went to my appointment, it's in the 15th, right almost on the edge of the 15th. And there's a street out there named for somebody in my family. So I made a little video. I'll post that on my stories. And I took some photos of it. Wasn't the prettiest street. I think I should talk to Madame Hugo. Maybe we need to put it on a pretty Houseman street. But it was very nice out there. It was quiet. There's some pretty parks out there. And the Ministry of Arms is there, which used to be right on the Boulevard Saint-Germain, which my grandpa took a picture of that I have, because the side of the building is covered with shrapnel from World War I. So we'll go up here a little bit, give you a good view of the sunrise, and just keep down on the right bank, because we might miss till we get past the Pont de la Concorde. When we get past that, we're going to be more in line. I could probably slow down because I'm trucking along here. I was worried we weren't gonna make it. This is how fast I usually am walking. So when I've had my group of ladies a couple weeks ago, I had to slow down. So what I really love about this one, so I love the bottom. I'll show you. Look at the bottom here. I love this because it has these steps. Remember we did the video here a couple weeks ago and I walked up there, but they get flatter and flatter and flatter, and then they just turn into the ramp. So it's kind of cool how they have it. And the designer for this, he won a prize, architecture prize. Look at that. Can't wait to get past the Place de la Concorde. Look at that, how beautiful. So pretty. I have somebody screenshotting that one. All right. This side over here. All I know is there needs to be a large glass of something at the end of this one. Not because of the video, just because of this week. Just because you live in Paris and it's your dream and it's beautiful, you still get stuff that makes you nuts. So, but it's all getting better. All right. These leaves are a little slippery. I was hoping that some of the trees, it was good that this warmth was so late, because last year we had that really warm week, the week of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. It was like 62 degrees that week. And things started to, all the buds started to come out because it was sunny and warm. So it's not great. Well, this week, this whole month, the weather's been amazing. Doesn't really spell for anything great for the future. There is, see where that, you see the two towers of the Église Saint-Clotilde over there, and then you see that kind of white tent cover. That is a building that a historic building they've been working on. And almost destroyed most of the interior. So they're working on it again because I've gone by to investigate. So hopefully they were able to save some of it. This up here is the orangerie. So that is where you have Monet's water lilies that we talked about last week when we were talking about Clemenceau. And they have that, the collection there is great. I tell clients that if you're only here for a few days, you know, that's a great museum to go to because you have Impressionists, but you also have Picasso and Matisse, and a few of the modern artists. So that one is a great museum to see a lot of that. And it's small, it's really easily managed. There is a fair warning though, if you do come, probably between now and March, hopefully, a lot of paintings that are the favorite paintings of the Orsay and a few from the Orangerie are all down at the Louvre Abu Dhabi. I think it's their 10-year anniversary. They also sent one of the Leonardo da Vinci's there. Look at that. Oh, look at that sky. They sent Da Vinci down there for 2 years. But like Monet's through Montreuil with the flags that I love, high boats, the floor scraper, Manet's Le Balcon, and numerous, like 100 Impressionist paintings, mostly from the Orsay, Orangerie, and other Paris museums are all down there. And the exhibit goes to the 5th of February. So that means they probably won't be back and on display till maybe mid-March. So I always hate it, feel horrible. I had a client that really loves the floor scrapers by Caillebotte. That is the one where the 3 guys are refinishing the floor, scraping it kind of down on their knees, and you have the pretty Parisian balcony in the background and the bottle of wine on the hearth of the fireplace. Oh my God, look at that. Okay, somebody, I really hope. Look at that color, you guys. This was like a couple weeks ago. Look at this. I'm screenshotting it, but it's going to be tiny. Look at how, oh, we can just stay here and just watch that. Oh, okay. Okay, I gotta get up here fast. Oh my. And then there's like a haze. Look at that. Oh my God, you guys. We might just stop here. This is too good. Because what time is it? It's like 25-ish. I'm gonna get across the street. Look at that haze. It's probably smog, but it's still pretty. There's advisories every day here when you open the weather on your phone about today's weather is just as bad as yesterday's. Oh my God, look, everybody's across the way. Okay. Hold on here. Look at this. Please tell me someone's screenshotting this. Okay. Look at that. Oh my God. Okay. Look at how it outlines. I'm going. Stop it, bud. Okay. There's like no room over here. Okay, we'll go down a bit. Everybody has the same idea. Just gonna push my way in here. It's the week I've had. They better know to move her. Okay. So we have to take a selfie apparently. Okay, look at this. You guys. Hi, Helen. I'm just looking in the chat since I'm holding this here for a second. Look at that. Okay. Do we keep going? Yes, let's keep going. So this is the, now we are in a hurry. So that is the Pont de la Concorde, built in 1787. And a lot of the bridge was built with some of the stones from the Bastille. But over time, it has been widened twice because it was too narrow, and it takes kind of one of the most used major bridges in the city for car traffic. So they definitely had to widen it, and they did it twice. Look at that, you guys. Oh, it's like a masterpiece. It's like a painting. So it has been widened over time. And that one also changed its names a million times because originally it was going to be the Pont Louis the 16th. And then during the Revolution, it became the Pont de la Revolution. And then it went back and forth until it finally changed. Tac, the Pont de la Concorde. I think we did the same thing. Well, it was shorter. We didn't go as far last year on the day that the time changed with Kate, because I was already gone. I just left. Because I remember we did this and we were like, are we going to make it? And I don't think we had a sunset that night. I don't think, or, of course we had a sunset, but it wasn't beautiful and orangey. Okay, now we're going to be behind the trees a tiny little bit. But you know which one's coming up next? The real goodie, the real star of the show. And it is, there's 37 bridges that cross the Seine. And I do have a tour in person that we could do that, and maybe not, we won't walk all 37, but when I've done it with people, we've walked from the Pont de Lina, that's at the Eiffel Tower, all the way down past Saint Louis. And I've also done it where I took a couple, we did it on a boat. I gave them all the fun facts. I love doing, even if it's a bateau mouche, I did it on a private boat they rented, but I love doing the bateau mouches because I am so obsessed with the bridges. Look at the lights are coming on. And it gives you a different view. So you get to see underneath them, and you get to see like on the Pont Alexandre Trois, where you have the two nymphs on either side. You get to see those up close. Oh, look at that, the whole sky. And it is the color I'm looking at on the screen. It is that color. That is not a filter. It really is that color. I kind of am shocked that we're doing all the way down to here in 30 minutes. But I guess I have walked from my apartment to the Petit Palais, which is right here in 30 minutes. I came here the other day and saw two fantastic exhibitions that I'm going to share in my stories and also start sharing some stuff just for the Patreon. I might even be sharing the stuff with them first, and then we'll share it later for everyone else. Do some special videos that I'll put in the Instagram stories. So if you're not on Instagram, unfortunately, there's not really any way to do it because the close friends filter doesn't work over onto Facebook, because all of my Facebook stories are from Instagram stories, but the close friends filter does not work. Thanks for walking in front of me, right in front of my camera. Oh, this week. So here we are. Look at this. Look at the sun is even pink and beautiful. Look at that. So up here, you have these four gorgeous capitals. The bridge itself was done in 1896. It was done in record time. It took less than 2 years to do this bridge because it was like the Eiffel Tower, fabricated offsite. And if you go underneath it, you just see all the huge spans, and they just dropped them all into place. So it came together very quickly. And it was done, once we get to this bridge and down, pretty much all these bridges were done for one of the Universal exhibitions, whether it's 1900 and the ones that were earlier, 1835 and 1855. They did all of these for that. So on this side, we could we'll walk across this one because I think we'll still be able, now that we're kind of down around the corner. So here on the very top, all of these statues are different. This one right here is Fame of the Arts, and the other one is Fame of Science. And the design of all this is belly pop. So it is a reflection of the gorgeous Grand Palais. I love all the sculptures on the top of that. Under construction right now. We have the Petit Palais. The Champs-Élysées is just right over there. But what's also really cool, I mean, I love the top ones because they're gold, but I also love the lower ones because the ones below it, this one is the Middle Ages of France, and the other one is modern France on that side. Shall I cross the street with all the other people? I think it's green. Is it safe to say we could go? I guess it went over. You guys have it on video. But I just think it's really cool that they did those lower ones to reflect the different periods of time in France. And my grandpa has pictures from 1972 of it, that exact spot right there, where there's three young gals in their 70s fashion having a photo shoot. So it still is a place to get photos taken, even now. And then on the arches here in the center, it's really easier to do this in the morning. I might have to do this one day, first thing in the morning for you guys, and record it because it's so much nicer when there's nobody here. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. So gorgeous. So this bridge was created because of the Franco-Russian ties. Of these on both sides. So you have these wonderful nymphs here. Here we have here This one on this side has the seal of Russia, and the other one has the seal of Paris. And Nicholas III, the son of Alexander II, actually came to Paris and laid the first stone. I think I feel raindrops, but I didn't. I just learned this a few weeks ago. I do feel raindrops, and I have an umbrella. That Mr. Gustave Eiffel designed a bridge that's in St. Petersburg as kind of the, Paris had theirs, and then Russia had theirs to note their. I love all these little gals that are here on the other side, the little genies. So then we get to this side here. Over here, you have the Pegasus, and below is France under Louis XIV. So she's holding a special fancy gold sword, of course. And this side, way up top, which you can't really see, and this one is France in the Middle Ages. And she's holding victory in her hands. Some think one of the curators of the Louvre kind of thought the Liberty of the People would have been in that pose. They thought that maybe her right arm was up like that, holding the laurel wreath, because that's what victory does a lot. Yeah, it's raining a little. Well, okay. We're going to keep going. If it gets too bad, I'll duck in someplace, but I don't think the sky doesn't look that bad. I just don't want the phone to get ruined. But right now it's not a lot. And now we're coming up to Pont des Invalides, which is kind of funny because Les Invalides is right there. But this one is the Pont des Invalides. The original bridge that was built here, the designer had this big lofty idea that he wanted to do. And it was more of a kind of a single span structure. And he had it designed, and they started to create it and started dropping pieces into place, and it fell apart. Became quite the scandal. He was even tossed into jail for a short period of time. But this one was open for the 1855 exhibition. And it is the lowest of all the bridges. So almost every year now, when the sun rises, it gets to a point where boats can't even go down the river. They stop all traffic because it gets too low. The bridges, they can't go under the bridges. This one has to be a problem because it is the lowest, which you can see over on those right sides. It would be hard for a bridge or a boat to get underneath there. So look at that. It's still gorgeous and orangey. We'll cross over here. We'll go down to the Alma so I can take you by the torch. Yeah, do you see the little raindrops? I had to go home and wash and restyle my hair because I literally got up and left before they were even done. She trimmed it the tiniest a bit. I think she trimmed it like 12 hairs. I said, just a short, just a little. She really took that to heart. And then I just was like, I gotta go. I gotta leave here right now after 5 hours and 15 minutes. I had about 10 things to do and another appointment that I missed. So I was not happy. I hate being late for things. I completely freak out if I'm late for things. So I really felt bad having to cancel. But they understood. You see, you can still see it. And we should time it just perfectly to see the old girl sparkle. And, you know, she's sparkling less now. Oh, and big exciting news. I saw they are lighting the Champs-Elysees on the 20th. And this year, they're all going to be gold lights. So it's going to be gold lights. The last couple of years, it's been red. And this year, it will be gold, which will be kind of pretty. So we will definitely, we learned last year, though, when they say it was going to be turned on at one point, it took an hour. So this time, we'll make sure we do that a little, the timing on that a little better. All right. I probably will not be making this walk back. Although after sitting for 5 hours, I definitely have the energy to do it. We'll see. Look, her lights are on now. Now we're in a perfect position. So if you do want to go down to some of these Bateau Mouches, if there's a group of you or you're taking a taxi, here's how they'll take you down. On the farther one, near the BB, it has a special gate to get out of. And when I took my group of ladies, we were stuck. We couldn't get out for about a half an hour. So it did not automatically go up, and our poor driver can't figure out how to get it to go up. Look at that. We still have a little bit of that pink. So the nice thing is, like, I know in Portland, Oregon, when we changed the clocks, it was dark at 4:30. It starts getting dark. But here it's the timing is always off a little, which is a good advantage, because here it's 5:30 to 7:30 for sunrise, because I know back in Portland it would be 6:30 and 4:30 it was set. So this is kind of perfect. And before we know it, we'll be back to our days when the sun's up until 10:45, 11 o'clock at night. It's just right around the corner. The faster it starts, quicker it's over. We'll be back to longer days. Keep an eye on the time here. 15 minutes. 15 minutes, she should sparkle. This is quite the long length between these two bridges. It's always sad when you drive along this one and then have to go into that tunnel. Where Princess Diana died, I always hold my breath. It's just so very sad. It's like the tour buses down here. I know some I'm not sure, I don't know if you're watching, but I know a few people were just here in Paris. I know a couple of still are. June and Sharon, they're probably not watching, so I think they were meeting some people at the same time. But June and Sharon I saw this week, and Helen, a lovely lady from Australia who I met at the Louvre, and she was standing there with a beautiful red scarf and a red lipstick. And I was like, look at you. She said, I always wear red lipstick. And then her birthday is the day before mine. We're like long lost sisters. Or twins that were born 2 days apart. 2 different days. It could happen. There is a dinosaur on the end of this. I'm just keeping it on the Eiffel Tower for you guys. And it's the Pont d'Alma coming up here. And then you have the Russian Orthodox Church over there, which has had very high security for, was it 7 or 8 months now? Because a lot of people at first were going over there and throwing things at it and graffiti. And technically, when you're on the sidewalk in front of it, you are on Russian soil. So now they have it all blocked off with fences and police 24 hours a day standing there. Yes. So it's really raining now. So hopefully I could put my scarf kind of over it if I need to, I guess. We're almost towards the end. The Pont d'Alma is named after whoever that was just filming me. Maybe that's that guy that does the videos without anybody talking. But this was in the Crimean War over Russia. And this is the one, the next one.
I'm saying only excise.
Get down here. You see that fine chap there on the bridge? Suave. When the bridge was first here, there's 4. So when they first had the bridge, there's 4. Then they had to widen it. So 3 of the other statues left. They moved them. But Suave is, as everybody knows, it's the unofficial way that they mark the levels of the flood. But when he was here, when the flood of 1910 happened, the water came all the way up to his shoulders. But since then, we'll walk over here to the edge, show you. He was then moved in 1970. So when they redid the base of the bridge, he was lifted up much higher. So he was a lot lower. So basically where you see the bottom of the water now, back then that would have been just about where his feet were. So when a lot of times news reports and stuff will compare the floods at, well, 1910 it was this, and now it's this. And it was just, you can't really match them because there's such a big difference. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at the sky. But he is he is pretty great. It's always fun to, I used it last year. I used the steps below the Pont de la Carousel because those, there's like 12 steps to go into the Seine. And every day I'd walk by, 2 more steps would be missing. So it was coming up quickly. And then it really dried out. There wasn't rain for weeks. And so luckily it gave it enough time that the water went back down and it didn't get any higher, but it was getting pretty high there for a bit. Because before I left, there was only 1 step showing. So here, up right up ahead is where we have the flame. And you can still see Our Lady. And I think we're just gonna make it because the plan was to go to the Pont de Billy, which Rana, Debbie, if you're watching, I always think of that as your bridge because when I see it, I always think it just says Debbie Lily. So we're coming up to the Pont Debbie Lily. And that is another footbridge. So there's 3 of the bridges in central Paris that are just for people, not for cars. So we're here also, sorry, I got my glasses in my mouth. We're also here where the bikes go. So this could be a whole special little occasion. So there you have the flame, which has kind of become the de facto Princess Diana. And the flame is there because France gave it, or I'm sorry, the US gave it to France as a thank you because when the torch had to be repaired in New York on the Statue of Liberty, France paid for it. So France paid for that. And so the US, as a thank you, gave them this. But the original torch was much different. The torch that's on the Statue of Liberty now looks like this one, the beautiful gold gilded solid. The original one was more of a, it was, you could see right through it and it had a huge lamp. So it was originally Liberty leading the world, and she was created to be a lighthouse. And she was originally going to be put down at the Suez Canal. If you listen to the episode, we did all about that. She was going to be down the Suez Canal. And when Bartoli offered it to them, they were like, yeah, no thanks, we don't really want it. So he kept the idea in his back pocket. And then when de Lesseps heard about this, and a couple other smart gentlemen, they thought maybe we should offer that to the US because we want to give something special to Mary Todd Lincoln in the US as a thank you for Abraham Lincoln. So first they were going to give him a medal. Then they decided, let's just give him a whole big statue. So, but it is kind of funny. It was kind of a hand-me-down. It was kind of a regifter. Of how she came to the US. But she's still pretty great. And of course, there's a smaller one that's down here that's facing west, that's facing towards her. And originally, she faced Paris. So she originally had her back. And I think every time there's one of those jokes of France called, they want her back, they should just turn this one around. They could have her on a swivel. There you have the Palais de Tokyo, one of the few buildings after the Grand Palais and Petit Palais that survived exhibitions. And there's 2 museums here. There's the Museum of Modern Art for the city of Paris here on the right, and the Palais de Tokyo, which is also contemporary art, here on the left. Right behind it is the Palais Gallier, which is the fashion museum. Yves Saint Laurent's over that way. We did that, what felt like months ago, but I think it was about 6 or 7 weeks ago. I've been here 2 months now, and it's gone by incredibly fast. But I am heading back to the States the end of this week for just a little over a week. So I won't be doing a video next week and might not be able to do on the week after that, but I will let you know and keep you up to date on my Facebook page and also Instagram. But I have a bazillion videos I've been making that I still haven't posted and shared. So we're going to get up there because I think we only have a few minutes. We'll go up there with everybody else. Maybe we should have saved this for when it's cold out. But this bridge was 1900, also for the World's Fair. Also just for walking. So it's from the originally it had green and blue tiles. Oh, we got about 5 minutes. These are the kind of places you want to hang on to your things when you are on a bridge like this and this close to the Eiffel Tower. Because you could, oh, one of these damn rocks. Oh, I'll get away from somebody chatting. All right. How about this? How's that first spot? Oh, right in the center. Oh, we had a front row seat. The next bridge did. He wanted to create this to link up to the military school, which is just across the way that he went to. Originally over here, was going to be the Palais de Chaillot over there in Trocadero. He was going to have that created for his son, and he named the king of, he was christened him the King of Rome. He was going to build him 2 palaces, one on the right bank, one just over here on the left bank. Obviously, this is before the Eiffel Tower. The military school is just past that. So they had this bridge created, and it was very expensive for the time. And on the right over each of the pillars, there was a big eagle and the letter N. And then when he was ousted, they got rid of those and they turned it into, put L's up there for Louis Philippe. And then when Napoleon III went back in power, they put the eagles back on. They put the eagles back on. And on either end, we did a tour there, I think almost 2 years ago in February. When they put, we took the, they put these 4 warriors on the end of each of the tops of there. There's a Gaelic one, and a Greek one, and a Roman one. So we are maybe just a minute away. So we will see. Let me see if there's any. give her another second here. I think that'll be shortly. It really is. I'm wearing a linen shirt, but it is lovely. There's a little bit of a breeze up here, but it's still really nice. I'm not cold at all. And you'll start, I'm sure she'll start, usually kind of starts at the bottom, but they are going to keep, I'm sure you've heard, and I've mentioned that they're turning the lights off earlier. So it's about 10:45. That's a good thing about the sun going down earlier. We get to see the sparkles a little quicker. But they also are turning the lights off of the Louvre and a bunch of the other monuments earlier, and they're not going to keep the lights on the Champs-Élysées on as late either. So just trying to save a little money on the energy because it is it around this way for a second. There we go. This is super. You know, you can never get tired of seeing that. Lovely. I love the fact of how they check to make sure they're all working is they have on the buildings surrounding it, they have cameras that they hide on or flash on, flash onto the Eiffel Tower at like, a millionth of a second. And that's how they find out which lights are out and they need to replace them. But it is pretty. It doesn't just look like dancing diamonds. I'll hold it here for it. And then when it gets done, we'll sign off. That could be the water. It is always fun to stand underneath it and everybody cheers and it's all exciting when they see her light up. But what a beautiful night, beautiful sunset. And I'm so glad I got to share it with you guys. You guys all make my day better. I'll go have some wine and get some rest. I hope people are nice this week. I'll move down a little so you guys can keep seeing her. Where did she go? There she is. Oh, this guy's selling toys. Look at her. It's going to be interesting to see what they do for the Olympics with it. Oh, and I'm getting a fancy little camera tomorrow delivered it's a teeny tiny camera, but it's already on a little gimbal. My friend Dawn that was here in Paris, she has one, showed it to me. And so I'm going to test it out. I'm hoping it might be able to work because it takes an amazing high definition. I just have to check to see if it's actually going to stream, if it can stream or not. That's going to be the question. But it looks really fantastic and I can't wait. Maybe I'll try it out this week. Nope, still feel the rain. You made it all the way down here in an hour, under an hour. Somebody's buying a block, like chastise them. So the Passerelle Leopold that's over by the Orsay, they've taken them all down and put up the glass, like on the Pont des Arts. So this bridge is probably next. Oh, there she is. All right, guys. I would turn it around and say hi, but my hair has been in the rain now. In Paris for an hour with me. I had somebody that sent me a message that her mom's in a recovery facility right now, and she shows her all my stories and videos and how they're making her day. That's so sweet. I love to hear those kinds of things. So if you please share these with everybody, spread the word. I really do need to get the YouTube channel up to about 1,000 people, and then we can go live on YouTube. So definitely share it, get other people, friends. If you aren't subscribing, subscribe to it. Claudine Blue Ball Rouge on YouTube. So there is the bridge. So I will say adieu to all of you and have a wonderful, lovely Sunday and start of your week. And I'll make sure to check out my Instagram stories, and I'll get some fantastic, so many things I haven't even shared yet that I can't wait to share with you guys. So keep an eye on that. And I shall see you again soon. Thanks all.